like to thank you all for your patience, allowing us to get our heads wrapped around everything that's been going on. It's been a very busy afternoon going into the evening. A lot of emotions swirling around the scene, but more importantly, a lot of people impacted, residents impacted, families impacted, be it by just damage alone, the emotional trauma, people being injured, and people losing their lives. All that said, we wanted to come and give you an update with the latest information. Right now, we are still in the recovery phase of the operation. However, we have joined that with an excavation phase of the operation, and the hope with doing those simultaneously is to not have us out here as long as we would be otherwise. Basically, we have had heavy equipment come to the scene to help us tear down part of the building that was still standing on the backside of the structure, what we would refer to as the Charlie side. While that's happening, we will have personnel using hand tools and their hands to actively dig through the debris to make sure that there are no additional victims. At this time, we can confirm that there have been 3 fatalities, 3 people located inside the debris. There are 2 females and 1 child of unknown gender. As far as the injuries go, there are still the 3 that were transported to local hospitals. One of those transports is in critical condition but stable. The other 2 either have been released or will be released by night's end. We also found that there was an additional self-transport for a total of 2 people who self-transported to the hospital. Both of those individuals had minor, non-life-threatening issues that have been addressed at this time. Despite our efforts to make it through the debris as quickly as possible, we will have a presence on scene for the next 24 hours overnight to preserve the integrity of the scene for the purpose of an investigation and so that the property itself can be secured at some point in the future. So we will be here throughout the night and into the morning. And as it stands right now, residents that have been displaced or otherwise impacted have been provided hotels by the city. That is all the information I have at this point. As far as an update is concerned, if you have any questions, we're welcome to take them.
Sir, are there people still missing from the apartment complex that you're looking for?
We do not have any information with regard to residents accounted for or unaccounted for. And I'll just put it to you this way. Our operation with regard to recovery does not end until the entire building has been searched. And that's regardless of whether we receive numbers or any kind of names or figures of anything of that nature. So we will continue searching the building through the excavation process and overnight until every last foot, inch of that property has been searched.
Jason, I saw we had a statement from Atmos saying that, quote, a construction crew unrelated to Atmos Energy damaged a natural gas pipeline. And that was what led to you guys coming out.
Okay.
Have you guys identified this construction crew or exactly what happened? And if so, is there any sort of, other than an accident, any sort of like criminal negligence that happened?
We have heard that information, but it is not something that Dallas Fire Rescue itself focuses on when we're responding to an incident like this. We are strictly here for life safety and trying to mitigate the situation as much as possible. That is not information we know at this time. The only thing I can tell you is that the city had no involvement with what was going on in front of the property.
Sir, can you describe, I mean, this is a huge explosion, a 5-alarm fire. We've seen a huge response. Can you know, from a firefighter's perspective, give us a sense of just how big this explosion and the resulting fire was?
This was enormous. I mean, you can just see by the result of what we all saw when we pulled up on the scene. You know, to see a building completely destroyed like that, there are a number of things that come to mind. And one of the things you have to consider that we as first responders, there are a number of things that we are before we are first responders. And that is, excuse me. And that, you know, we're parents. And with school being let out and the possibilities regarding who might be in those apartments, you know, they really weigh on the heart. And when these first responders have to dig through that debris and they find some of the things they find, it's extremely traumatic. That's why we have our support personnel, our peer support, our chaplains, resiliency coordinators out here to make sure that everybody is not only okay physically, but emotionally and mentally.
How many minutes elapsed between the gas leak being reported and the actual explosion?
I can tell you that our units were assigned to the call at 12:47. We arrived here at 12:49, which was an extremely fast response because our closest station is only a couple of blocks away from here. From what I've come to understand, it was originally reported as a gas leak, and at some point while those units were en route is when the explosion occurred, and it was immediately upgraded to a structure fire response, and then almost immediately after that to a 2-alarm fire response. And as you know by now, it's escalated up to a 5-alarm response, which yields about 120 firefighters out here trying to mitigate the situation.
And when were firefighters on scene when it exploded, or still on their way here?
We were still en route, so we're still on the way.
So within that 2-minute time frame.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Child who was deceased. Can you say about the child who was deceased? Are there parents who you identified who are still searching for a child, or what do we know about, you know, who that child belongs to?
That, I do not have that information. That is something that you would most likely have to confirm with the medical examiner as far as identity and whether those parents have been contacted. That being said, if there are people who are still searching for loved ones, they can contact, you know what, actually, I'm going to have Kevin Oden come up here and speak on that. I'm sorry, but
Thank you. Kevin Oden, Director of Office of Emergency Management and Crisis Response. If there are any individuals seeking family reunification or information, they can definitely reach out to the city. We have staff manning the 311. We have a special signal put into that system, a social service response, where we'll have individuals monitoring those as they come in, and we'll be providing any information to families or loved ones about anyone who may be missing or still be being searched for.
So do y'all expect the number of fatalities could still climb?
we don't know at this time. All I can tell you is that we still have. About an hour ago, I was told that we were through about 35–40% of the building as far as searching by hand. So we still got quite a bit to go, and that's including the areas of the building that have to be excavated. We may very well find more victims. We just don't know at this time. But we have to keep searching. Yes, ma'am.
Did drilling in front of the apartment complex have anything to do with that explosion?
Ma'am, that's not a question we can answer at this time. That's going to be part of the overall investigation, and if they determine that was the case, and that'll be released in that information.
Okay, thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody.